And my biggest takeaway from flipping mindset from scarcity to abundance was this is not a flip. This isn't a switch. It's a constant practice. You have to reframe you have to shift your mind every minute of every day. Every thought has to be changed.
And as you take it one step at a time, it's the little wins that make you feel confident and give you the courage to move to the next step. And it kind of starts to roll. It looks like a big, overwhelming sea of numbers and I don't knows and uncertainty, but the little wins stacking up over time give you that confidence to keep on going. And then it snowballs, it almost gets easier.
Divorce can be emotionally and financially overwhelming. That's why I'm teaming up with Sunny Wishart, president and founder of A La Carte Financial and a certified financial planner. We will show you how to understand all things money without feeling ashamed, overwhelmed, embarrassed. You will learn more, ask questions. No question is a dumb question. Welcome to Money with Sunny. Let's get into it.
Welcome to Money with Sunny. My name is Wendy Rovers. I'm a divorce coach and founder of Divorce Thrive. Today I'm here with Sunny Wishart, an advice-only financial planner and a money expert. Today we're going to discuss the mindset of scarcity versus the mindset of enough. We will discuss 7 areas in your life that may be why you're living in scarcity, and 3 areas in your life where you can begin to create an abundance mindset right now. Sunny, how are you doing?
There we go. Good morning. Good. How are you?
Great to see you.
Yeah, me
Sunny,
too.
what is a mindset of scarcity versus a mindset of abundance? And how does this affect a person who is striving for financial freedom, people that you meet every day?
I sat and chewed on this because it seems like this scarcity and abundance concept is something we're all still unpacking and figuring out. I think we all know what the words mean, but then it's a whole other can of worms to figure out what do the words mean to you and to figure out, do I have a scarcity mindset? You might think you don't. And you have to listen to those little voices and the way you speak and how you come across. So something I was thinking about is that we know what scarcity means. We know what the word is, but do we have any idea what to do about it?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's in my world, it's still something like I'm working on, and I've seen the proof of abundance lifestyle. And my biggest takeaway from flipping mindset from scarcity to abundance was this is not a flip. This isn't a switch. It's a constant practice. You have to reframe you have to shift your mind every minute of every day. Every thought has to be changed. Because when I started looking at what scarcity means in the financial space, it's this deep rooted, ingrained beliefs that have been in us since we can remember that we may not be able to recognize, but it could be something, like the way your parents talked about money and all those little things that you've taken and you've created a belief system around money from what you've heard. But we don't pay any attention to that or take any thought to that. So to flip the switch isn't really like, I'm going to live abundantly. Let's go. For when I kind of started figuring out the secret sauce in my space, it was every day I did it for a whole year. I was like, I'm going to do it for a whole year. And it worked.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next year I didn't do it the same. I was like, oh, it worked. Okay, cool. And back to scarcity mindset I went because it's just so deep.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. It is a way that we're being and a way that we've learned, and we need to unlearn the scarcity mindset and relearn the abundance mindset. So the 7 areas that we've come up with that put us in a scarcity mindset. First is a limited perspective. So if you're in a scarcity mindset, you often perceive resources as scarce, leading to a sense of a lack of insufficiency. And this results in feelings of anxiety, fear, and a constant need to acquire more. So the first area of living in scarcity is a limited perspective. So when you're meeting with clients, do you notice that? Do you notice that people are feeling anxious, scared, and constantly need to acquire more? Is that something that people working with you, come to the table with, these feelings?
100%. There is a lot of fear and anxiety around ticking all the financial boxes, and it's every time I talk to someone at the end of the conversation, I go, "Oh, okay, I see," because we talk about your goals. I always talk about that. At the end, it's like, so you want to do everything? Like, but we all do. We all want to retire comfortably. Shame on us, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
we all want to do a home reno or take a trip or pay for our kids' education. And it's all very standard stuff we want to do. But there's a lot of fear of how do I do everything right now? Because
And that
that's I
sense of lack and insufficiency creates the feelings of anxiety and fear and scarcity, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. And second is fear and anxiety. So fear and anxiety are fear of not having enough, and this can lead to poor decision making. It contributes to our personal stress and anxiety and our health. So, yeah, fear and anxiety are blocking us from the abundance mindset that will free us and allow us to be financially independent. So how do you work with people when it comes to fear and anxiety around the numbers, around the uncertainty?
It starts with just slowing down the I want to do everything and going at a slower pace than they're comfortable with the strategies to accomplishing all their goals.
Mhm.
And it depends, everyone's so different. Some people are already like there's different levels of where they're at financially or how they're doing and where I need to start. So
Mhm.
if we're rock bottom and I just need to get you to quit credit cards, that's like let's just start with the one thing. Just be good at not using credit. Start there because then that's when the shift starts. That's when the change starts. And that's where you start feeling better and motivated to go to the next step. But when people want to do everything all at once, so then they take all their money and they slap it on the mortgage, the credit cards, the RSPs, then there's nothing left. That's when all the bad feelings and the fear and the anxiety happens because you tried to do all the things and you've left yourself nothing. So
Mhm.
we have to be reasonable about starting with just one step at a time
Mhm.
and being patient. Like, if we're going to tackle your debt, we're going to do that this year. And that's it. I'm not taking you on a whole thousand. We need to just start slow because otherwise you're like, I'm not doing everything. And that's scary because you just, no, not many people can do everything.
And as you take it one step at a time, it's the little wins that make you feel confident and give you the courage to move to the next step. And it kind of starts to roll. It looks like a big, overwhelming sea of numbers and I don't knows and uncertainty, but the little wins stacking up over time give you that confidence to keep on going. And then it snowballs, it almost gets easier. Do you find that with your clients?
The snowball effect is real. And that's exactly what I was going to definitely like. Even, you'll have, say, a list of the debts. And I'm like, okay, this one's only 1,300 bucks. Pay this one off first. And they'll say, but that's not the highest interest. Well, your highest interest one is $13,000. You want to really make a dent. You want to see progress. So
Mhm.
pay off this one because this can be paid off in X amount of time. And then once that's paid off, you feel so good and you snowball and then take that money and put it on this one and then slowly just pick them off. That feels, it's like this seeing the progress. If you're trying to tackle a big debt with small payments, that progress is so much slower and so much more painful. You know, I want to motivate you. I want you to feel better. And it starts with the shift. And those little wins make the shift.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Another area in your life that you can take a look at to create awareness around your mindset, whether you're in a scarcity mindset or in an abundance mindset, is comparison and competition. So we often feel the need to outperform or accumulate more than people around us. Social media makes it just you're always seeing somebody going on a fantastic trip or starting a business and making $100 million. You're seeing new outfits, new haircuts, that comparison and competition really keeps us in the scarcity mindset. And how do you see that playing out with your clients?
It's so real. And I think the we're just coming into the holidays now. And something I saw that really gets to me, really bothers me is the holiday decor. The the ads and stuff like you say when they market to you. So for me in particular, I love decor, but I don't buy all the expensive stuff. But they're showing you pictures of these bedrooms that are decorated to the nines for Christmas. Why do you decorate your bedroom for Christmas? That's probably $1,000 worth of beautiful things in your room. So it's tricky because it's, is this important? Like, why are you doing this? So when it comes to things like trying to keep up with the Joneses, so to speak, it comes down to having the conversation of what is important to you to have in your cash flow to make sure we speak to it and what isn't. So if taking a trip every year is important to you, it's great. But we have to include it. It's not going to be something you go and stick on a credit card and hope it works out. It's something that's going to be included because it's how you want to live your lifestyle. But if you want to do all the things, like have a super decorated bedroom, take the trip, and um, like all the things, we have to prioritize them and we have to kind of pick and choose. And it's not that you can't, because I never like starting something with no, you can't. It's yes, you can if you take a trip worth this much instead.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you want to do that we'll put that in the following year's goals. So, but like, it's not starting with no, it's starting with you can't do that yet.
And it's getting real with your financial situation and what makes sense for you. So the comparison and competition is external and looking at what everyone else has, a very small piece of what someone else has, mind you, because we often compare ourselves with a very small piece of someone else's life. We don't know, all the other pieces that may be all crap. We don't know. We see one small decorated bedroom, but we don't see the rest of their house. So that comparison is so real, as you mentioned, it's so detrimental to our own lives. So look at your situation, your real life situation, and like you said, just plan for the trip every year is perfectly fantastic, but plan for it, organize for it, plan for it, figure it out, talk to a money expert, get an organized view on how your next year, next 5 years, next 10 years is going to look. Yeah, I like that a lot. That makes a lot of sense. Fourth is the scarcity mindset and its impact on our well being. So when you have a scarcity mindset, you're stressed, you're discontent. It can contribute to chronic health issues, and you find it challenging to appreciate what you have because you're always yearning for more. The impact of scarcity mindset is can be devastating to our physical health and well-being, and really harmful because you're not appreciating what you have in your life right now. How do you see that playing out with your clients?
This is a huge obstacle for me because I think everybody kind of suffers from this once in a while, and to different extents, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when someone comes in and they have those feelings, it's tough. I think what I like to do is just being the numbers person they're approaching is just show them the numbers. That's kind of where I come from.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a therapist. I don't have the courses behind me, but what I'm going to do is at least I can unveil all the clutter in their mind around finances and say, this is how it is. And usually 95% of the time, they're like, oh, I think just
Right.
because it's done, they ripped the band-aid, we sorted it out, and we looked at it. It's not always rosy, but it's never that bad. It's never as bad as people think it is. They think, no, it's pretty, I haven't started saving for retirement or I haven't done this. And I'm like, actually, you have because you have a pension plan with your work and you contribute to CPP. So you are contributing to retirement.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, I never thought of it that way. I'm like, yeah, because that money just comes off your paycheck. You don't really pay. Nobody gets pay stubs anymore. It just lands in their account. So you're not laying eyes on these deductions that are actually happening behind the scenes. So I really try to lift people up. Like, even if all they're contributing to is CPP, I'm like, don't forget, we've got this pension plan that you're putting money into. You are saving in some form. It's not enough, but it's something. So it's just to kind of, they say, rip the band-aid, look at the numbers. This is what's left for you guys to maintain your lifestyle. And we look back and I'm like, this is doable for your family. You guys can live and keep your current lifestyle okay. It's just keeping an eye on it and strategically planning for the little things that can pull the rug out. So to, just show them the numbers. That's kind of where I come from.
And the knowledge that you gain from understanding your numbers and the clarity around that will help to reduce the stress in your life and help you to breathe and make sense of things. It's the scarcity mindset and the feeling, the overwhelm. Like you said, we make mountains out of molehills in our own mind. So come to the table with your numbers, speak to a financial expert, and know where you're at. And then you can move forward from there. Yeah, I like that a lot. The fifth scarcity mindset is the impact that it has on our financial situation. When you're in a scarcity mindset, you're often over consuming, overspending in an attempt to fill a perceived void. And this can lead to financial challenges. I'm sure that you see this in your work.
Not just see it in my work, but lived it myself.
Yeah. Tell us more.
In so many ways. And this is why I love what I do, because I was able to come out the other side of it myself, where, when I was living quite broke and beyond my means, what I did, I went to Vegas. That's what you're going to do. And just blew up the credit cards and the overdraft and things like that, because I'm like, well, heck with it. This is just not getting any better. And then shoveled my way out. But it's definitely something I recognize when I see
Mhm.
someone. I can see like when I look at transactions, I get right down to the nitty gritty. I can see your emotions in there, you
Mhm.
know the spending. People will have that one place where all the money is going, and I'm like, so this makes you feel good, right? Like
Mhm.
having those days at the salon or having those days at the mall, or usually, or online shopping or whatever it is, your thing. This is something that's you're doing because it's making you feel good. So I do try to talk about that. Like, okay, there, I see this store recurring quite a bit. What are you buying? How is it providing for you? And then I want to make sure I include that, because if I don't include it, I know they're going to go blow up, and people think I'm going to come in and take all their things away.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they think. I'm going to take away, you know, like, that's it. No more daily coffees.
All their fun is gone.
And I'm like, that is the last thing I'm going to
Yeah.
do, because that is how you're going to keep in your mindset of feeling like you're going without, and you're going to blow it all up. Like, you know, I did all over Christmas with my nutrition. I ate all the chocolate because I worked so hard to eat clean leading up to it. I deserve it. Right?
Right.
It's the same mindset. It's the same thing we have. So
It's the
to just
fast or famine mindset.
oh, so it's just telling them, you know, just saying it's okay. I
Mm.
know you like this store, or, you know, I know you like your wine. It's okay. I'm not here to tell. That's for you to deal with on, like, your thing. That's fine. I am just here to make sure that that is part of your lifestyle, and you've got some emotions in there that make you feel good when you consume whatever it is that you do. And that's okay. Why do we have to feel bad?
Mm-hmm.
That's what keeps the scarcity mindset going, is feeling bad about going to the salon or buying the
Mm-hmm.
new clothes or whatever we're doing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Love it. Absolutely. The sixth area where you can understand whether you're living in a scarcity mindset is take a look at the relationships that you have with important people in your life. Are they strained? A scarcity mindset can create strain on a relationship because you have feelings of jealousy, rivalry, and inability to celebrate other people's successes. That's real for most people. And how does that affect your clients? And how do you have discussion around that?
This one's tough because it's definitely usually in a spousal situation.
Mm-hmm.
You one, it's just two different belief systems butting heads constantly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a tough one because sometimes I've come to solutions with couples and they were both able to get on board with a strategy. And I've come to ones where it's like they've ended up ending the marriage because it wasn't that this was it. It was just, this is the last straw.
Mm-hmm.
Where they couldn't get the spouse on side. And I, you know, it's, I meet with a lot of women, so it's their husband. So they'll bring in the husband. I've had them glaze over. I've had them turn and stare at a wall the whole time I was talking. Just the body language coming was that I don't want to be here. I don't think we're that bad that we need to be here.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to be fine. But they're not doing anything. They're part of the issue. They're part of the problem, but they are
Mm-hmm.
not part of the solution at all. So I get stuck a little bit in these conversations. I've tried to have the tough conversation with this spouse. That went poorly. They never came back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, that didn't work out very well. And it's just not a practice I want to do. I don't want to have those really hard conversations. I just show the numbers and say, this is how it is if you don't change. And I'm
Right.
recommending you make this change. The end. I don't want to sit there and make anyone feel bad.
Right. And,
Um,
and so from a if I'm a woman transitioning through divorce and I'm recognizing that I have a scarcity mindset, one of the areas that I can tap into and take a look at is how are the relationships in my life with the most important people in my life? Are they strained? That's a conversation that I have to have with myself. And then if I want to create financial independence for myself, which that should be a goal that everyone has, then understand that and come meet with a financial expert, know the numbers, create a plan, and move from there. That's kind of what I'm hearing you say. Yeah.
mm-hmm.
The final area that you can look at, whether you're trying to figure out whether you're living with a scarcity mindset, is your impact on decision making. So, a scarcity mindset promotes short term thinking as opposed to long term planning. This can affect decision making in your financial world. Can you talk to us about that, Sunny?
Yeah, definitely. So it kind of circles back to a lot of those similar concepts that if you're kind of floundering around and you're feeling kind of lost in the weeds, you're going to be very short-sighted about your decisions and what you're doing and what you're choosing to do financially in particular. But if you have a bigger picture painted, it's so much easier to keep focused on that big picture and to keep the eye on the prize and to see these longer term. But it's so hard to paint a big picture because we're just sitting there in our heads with all these concepts, and it's a lot. So if we take it down to we do medium or short, medium, and long term goals. So this is what you're going to do for the next 1 to 3 years, then 3 to 5 years, and onwards. So that like, this is what I'm doing today, but the bigger picture is still on track. I've got everything earmarked to start in 3 years or to start this in 5 years, and I'm okay. Then all of a sudden, I don't know, I find painting the big picture is so key in making sure that all your little short-term decisions don't feel so scary.
Yep, absolutely. Now, switching into an abundance mindset, it's not a switch that you can turn off and turn on, but there are 3 ways that you can create financial abundance in your life, change your mindset from scarcity to enough. And 3 of the ways that I think are really important that you should consider are your gratitude and contentment. So it's about recognizing and appreciating what you have right now. Second is embracing enough. The concept of having enough involves finding contentment and satisfaction with your current situation. It's a mindset that focuses on sufficiency of resources and embracing the present moment. Thirdly is cultivating abundance. So focusing on possibilities, creating a plan, setting goals, recognizing the resources that you have can be expanded, and figuring out how to do that. So when you're working with your clients, Sunny, and they come in with a scarcity mindset, and you see as you work together, they're beginning to move towards a more abundant mindset and a mindset of enoughness. How do you help them to walk that path? We know that you look at the numbers, you create a plan, you create a short-term plan, a mid-term plan, a long-term plan. Maybe share a story with us or some discussions that you have that you see a light go off and they realize that, oh, I can do this. I can have this. I do have the resources. Talk to us about that.
This is my favorite part when I see their mind shift, and it's over time. It's usually over the course of at least a year that it happens. But like in kind of broad strokes, I have a lot of entrepreneurial women. So, that's tough because there's good days and bad days and good money and bad money. And it's to get them set up in a way, like originally we start with the foundational work. That's like, this is what you're going to do, and this is how you're going to do it. Make it very clear, and then get them to get it. And then once they get it, I start getting these emails that something neat you can do on your online banking is you can name your bank accounts. This is my favorite part. I know it's kind of silly, but so I have I have a whole whack of bank accounts, and I've got different names for them because they're for different purposes. And I'm allocating. But some people are like, I have a client, she's named one bank account Fluffy Pillow. And but to her that means something,
Yeah.
Or they put Boss Babe on there or something, like,
Yeah.
just they have their words so every time they look at their money, they have that awesome word looking at them instead of checking account number 45672.
Yeah. I love that.
And so I love when we get together and you can just see them. They're like, oh, my Fluffy Pillow account's doing amazing.
And
So there,
that's when you start to see a person shift from scarcity mindset of, oh my God, I don't have enough, to an abundance mindset where I'm grateful for all that I have and I do have enough. I have a fluffy pillow account. I have enough. I have more than enough, and it's got to be such a great feeling. And it is a financial freedom when you reach that place in your life where you know that you have enough and you are financially set up, organized, there's a plan, and you're free to just not have to worry about your finances all of the time. It's a great thing. So the work that you do, boy, that must feel so rewarding when you talk about the fluffy pillow accounts.
I love it. And January is a great time of year. We all come in with a bunch of gusto. So there's a lot of abundance going on this month.
Nice. I love
Yeah.
it. So if you're suffering from a scarcity mindset, you're not alone. So many of us have been there, will be there. You have days where you're feeling more of a scarcity mindset and days where you're feeling more of an abundance mindset. This is a tool that you have to build within yourself. And hopefully today we've given you some of the things to consider, think about, work on. If there's an area in your life right now where you're feeling scarce, try to think about it a bit differently. Make a call to a financial expert, create a plan, start one step at a time, as Sunny said, one step at a time, create small wins for yourself, and you will get there. I mean, if someone else has done it and they have, you can do it too. So thanks a lot for this conversation today, Sunny. It's always great to chat with you. Any final words for everyone?
I like the one step at a time. Don't
One
try to
step at
do
a
it all.
time. One step at a time. Thanks for being here with us today. You are not alone. You are perfect just the way that you are, and you've got this.